man. So Scotty from World Combat Sports, shout out to Scotty, man. He is reporting that he hearing through the grapevine that Canelo is requesting a smaller ring for the Terence Crawford fight. And it sounds like from what Scotty's saying is that that's a done deal. That there are, I mean, obviously if the contract's agreed to, they're going to have a smaller ring. Now, maybe, that's why Bernie said what he said about Crawford not running versus Canelo. And this is just giving more validity to people really thinking that Crawford may be able to pull it off. Because you think about it, Canelo didn't ask for a smaller ring, versus Caleb Plant versus Billy Joe Saunders. And both of them, Plant in his second half or post Canelo fight since joining Stephen Bredman, Plant has figured out how to be how to be more stationary and still not compromise his defense and still, stay on platform. Things that Plant couldn't punch, but Plant just preferred to move off the spot. So he's punching and moving. You know what I'm saying? So he's really not what he was doing wasn't going to be sustainable throughout his career. So he had to learn to be more stationary. That way he can really turn his shots over. That's where the power come in at. When you turn the shot over and you lock it out, wow, that's where the power come in. So now that he really turning his shots over and being more stationary, he's more efficient fighter. The thing about Crawford has got something that a lot of fighters don't have. You might see Sugar Ray Leonard had it, young Floyd Mayweather had it, Roy Jones had it, where they can punch off platform. They don't necessarily need to be stationary to. They don't need to be stationary to knock you out. But them having a smaller ring, it doesn't surprise me because he didn't ask for it versus Charlo, Billy Joe, Caleb Plant. And maybe he didn't think Charlo was going to run. I'll give him a pass on that. Even for Skull, we all knew Skull was going to move a lot. So I really think at this point, and he really fearing Crawford. I think there's a fear there of Crawford, And one of the reasons I say that is because he was saying, well, I thought he lost to Madrimov. And I'm just like, no, he didn't. You didn't think that. You just don't have any confidence. And I've always said Canelo wasn't a confident fighter. I mean, he's a fighter that fights with the commission, with the country behind him, the commission be behind him, the powers that be in boxing be behind him. So, getting a smaller ring, I said that, I swear to God, I just said, I'm like, just thinking about him knowing Skull is going to move a lot. Why didn't he request a smaller ring versus William Skull? I just was saying that on one of the videos. I'm like, why he just didn't request a smaller ring? You the A side. Now he's trying to make sure he dot his I's and cross his T's versus Crawford. So we're going to have a smaller ring. And, in my opinion, I had a video I did a couple weeks ago. I ain't uploaded it yet. I might upload it pretty soon about ring size. I'm fine with it at this point. Y'all complaining about runners. There's never any backlash or people don't get mad at the fighter for not knowing how to cut off the ring. Come on. It's hard enough to move for 3 minutes, for 36 minutes with a minute apiece and rest. That's hard as hell to do. So imagine if they knew how to break down fighters. If guys knew how to, throw a particular type of jab. Instead of throwing a power jab, you ain't throwing it to land, you throwing it to put them in a position where you can get them where you want to, where you just touch the body. Where guys know how to throw more than one shot. They throwing 3 or 4 shots where it's harder for them to evade. You know what I'm saying? We lived in the actual, boxing, time where guys really knew how to break these guys down the proper way and get them to stop moving as much. But for Bud, if Bud agreed to it, I can't complain about it. And people talking about they put more emphasis on entertainment value. They literally scoring the fight based off entertainment value. Remember, that's what they're doing it based off name base and entertainment value. That's what they scoring the fight on. So if you ain't entertaining, they just saying, fuck the point system, you lost. If you move, you lose. So, but Bud ain't really never stayed on that back foot versus Victor Postal. That's the only time you can say he did, but he scored 2 knockdowns in that fight. So It's gonna force guys to get creative. Um, he said there were no, Pacific dimensions of the fight. So for the most part, we don't know if it's gonna be 16 by 16, 18 by 18. I don't know what they've been fighting in lately. Is it 24 by 24? Something like that. 16 by 16, I think, is about the smallest you can go. So I'm thinking maybe about 20 by 20, 18 by 18. So, but at the end of the day, they just let you know, bro, like when shit get tough for Canelo, he just gonna change the rules. This is why boxing this is why, you see why they need the NBA and the NFL. They need guidelines. You know what I'm saying? And boxing is just it doesn't have any guidelines. I can change the ring how I want when I want to change the ring size. Remember when Cotto and Mayweather almost fought in tens and eights? The commission is the only stopgap. Remember, I think Mayweather wanted to wear tens and Cotto eights. It could have been the other way around. And they was gonna let them come into a 154-pound fight, which the rule is anything above welterweight got to be 10 ounces. They agreed that one. I can't remember who. I would imagine Mayweather wearing the tens and Cotto wearing the eights because of Mayweather hands. They agreed to it, but then the commission stepped in and said they couldn't allow it. I don't know who remember that fiasco. They was gonna fight in tens and eights. Not like Barrios and Thurman where they have 47 and the rule of thumb is eights. Barrios made them put on tens. No, Cotto was gonna have some eights on, and Mayweather's gonna have tens on, or the other way around. I can't remember it. So boxing is it's a very mischievous sport, and the mischievous behavior it always gets rewarded. Look at Ryan Garcia, and ultimately, we went around, came around like a hula hoop, but yeah, I mean Canelo. I told y'all he's not a confident fighter. When you talking about confident fighters, you talking about Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr. When you start to talk about confidence, like Mayweather, these fighters today don't walk with that confidence. They don't walk with that stick. No Diddy, no Harvey Weinstein, no Kanye. They don't walk with that confidence. They don't. They so concerned about losing. How can you be so concerned about losing? They don't even care how they look when they win. They don't care if they ran around the ring all day and they look like pussy. You know what I'm saying? And they stock go down. As long as I won, yeah, I mean, you still look like a bitch doing this, and then still stock will still went down. They don't care nothing about style points. They don't walk with that. You can't fuck with me. None of them have that confidence, bro. They all tentative and fight scared like they scared to lose the bag or they scared to lose their O. That's what it is. That's how they fight. They fight like they scared. Tell me I'm wrong, but I told y'all Canelo, man, first fight, if his first title fight was a catchweight. His first title fight of his career was a fucking catchweight. Y'all ain't hearing me, bro. Like everything has been gifted. How many times we heard about him changing the weight right at the weigh-in? He's a trust fund kid in boxing. That motherfucker ain't had a hard day in boxing. So they just let people know that he feared this man. He feared this man, and he feared that he can lose. And Bud gonna have to another thing, smaller ring. Let's get it, bro. You know. So more and more make you think they leaning towards the Mayweather blueprint. Send in that pocket, deliver. Catch, shoot, lead off. Lead off gonna be important. Him leading. I told y'all, Canelo gonna do everything in his power not to let no nigga beat him, especially like Bud. Like Bud will be considered the all-time great. He will be considered the greatest of all time modernly. In the modern boxing, they will consider Bud the greatest of all time. I'm saying that right now. They will consider Bud the greatest of all time. I'm telling you, he will be considered the GOAT. 4K, 5K, whatever you want to say, he'd be considered the GOAT. So, um, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. This is, who Canelo is. No confidence, no grit, no balls. You know what I'm saying? Just everything been handed to him in this boxing game. Everything has been handed to him. Kind of regretting not getting my hair cut last week, but it's cool. It's hot as hell. My shit gonna be spinning. My shit gonna be spinning when I get it cut this weekend. I should go another week. I doubt it. I don't know if I go another week without getting it cut. It's just starting to heat up. In the summertime, I hate keeping hair on my head. You be out there baking. But yeah, so that's all I had to say. Let me what y'all think about Canelo getting their smaller ring size versus Crawford. This September 12th. It's a Friday. Because UNLV is playing football at Legion Stadium on Saturday. So hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Shout out to the brother Vinny Ochoa for donating. Hit the link in the description. You can Cash App, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Outside of that, man, you can find me everywhere, man. Legit. Check out the Free Game 89 channel and check out my Detroit channel. Peace.